Thank you for your interest in the Radial Pro-LD or light duty scrap removal shaker conveyor system. Now, we just showed you some brief video clips of this system moving a variety of material in multiple conveyor trays. So now I want to take just a few moments to make you aware of some of the features and benefits that this system has to offer. So first of all, we call this a light duty system, not so much because of its construction, but due to the fact that it produces 350 pounds of push force at 80 psi inside the shaker drive. And then secondly, it utilizes a 1-inch diameter solid steel chrome plated pivot shaft and 2-bolt radial flange bearings with 1-inch inside diameter that support the pivot rack assembly. So now this 350 pounds of push force translates into the ability of this shaker drive to handle pivot rack assemblies up to 6 foot long, which means that you can use this Radial Pro-LD system on press beds with bolsters up to 6 foot wide. One of the unique features of this Radial Pro system is the fact that it eliminates off-center loading between the pivot rack assembly and the shaker drive. The way that we accomplish this is by producing a motion internally in the shaker drive that causes the pivot rack assembly to rotate backwards and forwards. We then support and trap the pivot rack assembly between radial flange bearings at various locations, which eliminate any lever force or the effects of lever force outside of the shaker drive. So any force applied on the tray shaft is translated into rotational motion instead of lever force. So the elimination of the off-center loading allows you also to be able to move this shaker drive anywhere you want from, say, the far right-hand side of your press bed to the far left-hand side of your press bed on 3-inch increments. Why 3-inch increments? Because we have corresponding holes in both the tray shaft and the pivot shaft that are on 3-inch centers all the way down the pivot rack assembly. So you can literally move this shaker drive anywhere you want on 3-inch centers, which is a great feature because you may have obstructions on the face of your bolster that don't allow you to mount this in certain locations. So also the elimination of off-center loading allows you to mount your shaker trays anywhere you want on the pivot rack assembly with respect to the shaker drive without affecting the internal workings of the shaker drive. Right, another feature of your Radial Pro system is that there are 2 available mounting options for fastening your shaker system to your press bolster. One option is adjustable T-slot tongue mounts. Now these mounts are on 12-inch centers. They include clamp plates with fasteners, and they are adjustable upward or downward 1 inch, which will raise or lower your shaker 1 inch from the neutral position. Now, if you can't use clamp plates because they cause an obstruction, we also provide you with set screws that you can put in the tongues to fasten your system to the T-slots. The second system for mounting would be what we call faceplate mounting. Now, these faceplates are also adjustable upward 1 inch or downward 1 inch. And these mounting styles also apply to the pivot rack support assemblies. So you can mount your pivot rack supports with either T-slot tongue mounting or faceplate mounting. But if you choose to purchase a system with faceplate mounting, you're going to need to drill and thread mounting holes in the face of your bolster. So with each Radial Pro system with faceplate mounts, we also include what is called a transfer drill template to assist you with locating and drilling the holes for mounting both the shaker drive and the pivot rack support assemblies. And there's one more feature I want to address now, and that is the fact that this shaker system is reversible. There is a flow arrow on the top plate that indicates the direction that material will be moving in. If you want to push material away from the shaker, you simply can turn the shaker around and fasten the mounts on the other side of the shaker because the shaker is completely symmetrical. All right, another important feature of this shaker system is the fact that this pneumatic or air-powered shaker drive is sealless. And because of the fact that it's sealless, it does not require any inline air lubrication. Also, this is a very efficient, low air consumer. The shaker drive only consumes slightly more than 1/2 cubic foot per minute of air. And based on today's cost for producing compressed air, this shaker drive only costs pennies per hour to operate. Also, the shaker drive comes with a filter regulator assembly and 10 feet of industrial air line with a quick disconnect fitting. Okay, another benefit of all Radial Pro shaker systems is the fact that they include tray support platforms. Now, these tray support platforms can be mounted with either adjustable T-slot tongues, as we're showing you here, or with adjustable faceplate mounts. Now, if you purchase a system with adjustable faceplate mounts, we will provide you with a transfer drill template to assist you in locating and pilot drilling the mounting holes for the tray support platforms. But the main benefit of the platforms is to do several things. One, to provide a stable surface for your tray to rest on. Second, to level your tray. When your tray is level, the material in the tray will move more efficiently down the tray. Thirdly, to suspend the tray off any obstructions. For instance, maybe the top of the bolster plate or a sub plate, to get that tray suspended above the obstructions so that the bottom of the tray is not rubbing metal to metal on the obstruction. And then the last benefit, which is the most important, is that these platforms will promote tray life. So they'll really increase the life of your conveyor trays. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly summarize the components that are included with the Radial Pro-LD shaker conveyor system. you'll be receiving the Radial Pro-LD shaker conveyor drive with either adjustable faceplate mounting or adjustable T-slot tongue mounting. You'll also receive a filter regulator assembly with 10 foot of industrial airline, a pivot shaft, the required number of tray shaft connectors, a tray shaft, the required number of pivot rack support assemblies with either adjustable T-slot tongue mounting or adjustable faceplate mounting, the required number of tray support platforms with either adjustable T-slot tongue mounting or adjustable faceplate mounting. If you opt for a system with adjustable faceplate mounting, you'll also be receiving a transfer drill template that will assist you with locating and pilot drilling the holes for mounting both the shaker drive and the pivot rack support assemblies, as well as a transfer drill template that will assist you with locating and pilot drilling the holes for mounting the tray support platforms. Once again, I just want to say thank you for your interest in the Radial Pro-LD shaker conveyor system. We're going to wrap up this presentation with a live demonstration showing you a couple different things. First, we want to demonstrate the Radial Pro-LD's ability to resist off-center loading. To do so, we're going to turn the shaker on, set at 40 psi, which means it generates 175 pounds of push force. And then I'm going to oppose the pivot rack assembly down here on the end, 6 feet away from the shaker drive with my full body weight, which is also approximately 175 pounds, just to show you how well this resists that load. Then we'll conclude with me installing the trays onto the shaker while it's running, and then putting some material in the last shaker tray and demonstrating how efficiently it moves material.